All right, guys. So today I've got with me Jad. He's one of our partners in the AOV Mastery program. So Jad, do you want to give a quick intro about who you are, what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I run a few brands, started e-com about 6, 7 years ago, and we were just talking about how the upsells back in the day were a huge part of,
Yeah,
e-com and the funnel in general, and then it died off once Shopify acquired or kicked off a bunch of the upsell apps, and then it controlled it a lot more. And
yeah,
yeah, so I've been in this space for a while, run a few brands right now. We do about 3 to 4 mil a month between all brands and we just started working with Simply Scaled and you, what, 6 months ago? How long has it been?
I don't even think so. It's been like 2 months, 3 months.
No, it's been longer.
Yeah,
Yeah, on the we've introduced a bunch of new brands
yeah.
recently,
I think the
but the
first
first
one,
one's been like four, I think now, for
yeah,
sure.
I think this is the fourth month. We just finished the
Yeah,
fourth
yeah.
month.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sweet, sweet. Yeah, well, I mean, you guys obviously have a ton of brands and you guys are running mad numbers. So
Yeah.
this is like the perfect service for people at your guys' scale.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit, give them an idea of like what was your kind of post-purchase setup before, and like was it something that you guys really took seriously, or was it something that you guys left kind of not really too much? And how is it transformed now, given that you've been working with us for like, yeah, last 3 months, 4 months ish?
So yeah, I mean, we started off back in the day. I've been in the game for quite a minute now. I've done over 50 million in revenue. Back in the day, we used to really capitalize on post-purchase upsells because it was pretty much the Wild West. And then, like I said, Shopify tried to control the whole situation, and it became very hard for us to pull in the decent numbers post-purchase wise. And
Yeah,
then we stopped focusing on it, which was a mistake because you can still do a lot of damage. But the whole, only Shopify
yeah, nowhere
payments
near the
and
amount you used
being
to be able
served,
to.
yeah, it became a bit not so necessary and essential. So we
Yeah,
dropped the ball on it. And it's been on my radar for quite some time with the new brands because it is just money left on the table if you're not putting anything on the back end. It's just stupid, not to do
yeah,
so. So it's been on my radar, but at the same time, it requires a lot of TLC on its own, having to test the proper funnels and A/B tests and constantly introduce new funnels, So it requires a whole team, and we haven't really had the capacity to do so. I don't really like agencies. I rarely
yeah.
ever work with agencies.
I remember this
That's
conversation.
that's
Yeah,
why I kind of fought this quite a bit, and
yeah,
eventually, I was like, it's worth the test. And I only really work with 2 or 3 agencies, and I have a lot of brands. And I've worked with a lot of agencies in the past.
yeah.
90% of the time, I was disappointed. This is definitely not one of those times. Again, I can, it's crazy with the agency game when most agencies suck, but when there's a good agency that does well, they do very well, and that's
Yeah.
Simply Scaled. You
Appreciate it,
guys
man.
just crushed it, truly. And yeah, man, it's a pleasure to work with the team. The team is just always on top of it, very quick to respond. They publish funnels like crazy, always testing. Anything we request gets done. The numbers speak for themselves. We're doing extremely well. And like I said, it's
Yeah,
just the profit left on the table if you're not running it running the post-purchase funnels on the
yeah.
back end. So
No, I think a lot of people don't think about it as like, because a lot of people spend so much money, like thousands of dollars a month on the front end doing CRO and
yeah,
landing pages and all this stuff. But then the back end, I mean, mind you, we all know that there's the limitations of the, payment processors, the location, which we have found some workarounds, but not crazy. It's still, for you, I think across the three brands, I think I'd added them up for the last 30 days. It comes out to like 80, 85-ish, almost 90K a month in revenue. And then
yeah,
profit is your
dude.
basically your gross profit, so a lot
Yeah,
higher than you're ever going to get on the front
exactly,
end. So
exactly.
it's easily a couple of
Free
thousand
money.
bucks a day profit. Yeah.
Free money, man. Free money,
Yeah,
easy.
and I think
It's
if
a
it
no-brainer.
if it wasn't for you guys having some like more people taking other payment methods or like locations, you would be probably doing triple what you're doing right now. But I think
Oh yeah.
overall, with the way it's set up, I think it's very important for people to understand. I think from all the case studies and stuff that I do is that people set up the funnel, like they use the auto setup funnel, they forget about it. You guys in this case actually had a funnel, but compared to the rest, like some of them don't even have anything. And I'm talking like even like 8, 9 figure brands that I've talked to at this point have nothing. So like even just having anything is good enough. But seeing the RPV, like I think when we first started with you guys, only one of the brands had a funnel, and I can't even remember to be honest what
It was
or
on
maybe none of them
OCU,
had.
yeah.
Oh, it was on
The one
OCU, and I
that
think your
did, and it was
RPV
on OCU, and it was just trash.
it was
I
like a
set it
dollar
up. It
thirty,
was
I
very,
think.
yeah.
It was like a
It was
dollar
just
thirty. Yeah,
yeah. It was on my list of to dos, but this type of thing requires a good amount of split testing, and it
yeah,
requires its fair share of attention, right? And I didn't give
yeah,
it that, and that's why I was like,
yeah,
okay, I'm either just gonna keep postponing this because I have so much other shit to attend to, especially when you're
yeah,
running multiple brands, or I just work with someone. And I saw some of your stuff on Twitter, and I saw some of the RPV, and I'm like, holy shit, this is like 5 times what we're getting.
yeah,
So might as
yeah,
well just reach out, and then
yeah.
we got connected, and
I think
again,
even
it
for the
just
people
made
that don't
sense.
believe, the people that don't believe about like doing it consistently, like doing like the on and off, I think for you guys, a big example was I think Prime Day. Because Prime Day, when we switched the funnels to be Prime funnel related, I think your RPV even doubled from what it
Of
was. It was already
course,
like double what it was, and then it doubled for that weekend as well. And I think
yeah.
people don't think about that in the moment because they're like, yeah, this is just like a whatever. But no, it's
You
definitely
can't
something
really
that
set and
we're
forget it. You can't
yeah,
really
yeah,
set and forget. It requires, again, it requires someone to really attend and read the data, to
yeah,
split test constantly, just like you do on the front end. But dude, I think the back end is a lot more important because you've already acquired the customer. They're already
yeah,
convinced. They already will almost buy. Again, that's why I used to love post-purchase upsells. It was I would launch a store and then literally have a post-purchase upsell and not even know if the product is gonna work back in the day. And I
yeah.
was just,
Because
making
the
huge
product might not
stacks.
work, but the post purchase funnel might. So,
Exactly, dude. I
yeah,
swear, I've had brands where the back end made the front end work. I swear, we
yeah,
would almost break even on the back end, but because we were able to be so aggressive back in the day, and now
yeah,
with with the proper setup and what you guys are doing and your team and the proper data, it takes a bit of time to get there, but it is achievable as well, right? When you
yeah.
present the proper funnels and do the proper split test to get to that. So,
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think it's worth mentioning for anybody watching this, we don't do anything black hat. So anybody look watching this
yeah,
who's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
black hat guy
No,
or
you really
anything.
can't. You really
No, there's
can
people that are
nowadays.
doing
It's
obviously like the VIP club stuff where they run subscriptions and then it's auto checked and all that stuff. We don't do any of that stuff on the
but
post
can you
purchase
do
side.
that with Aftercell? I don't think so.
They can't do it auto checked, but they can basically hide it in a way where when they click the checkbox, it will subscribe. Like it's more clear,
Okay.
definitely more clear, but I get like probably 15, 20 people a day messaging me on Twitter now being like, hey, can you do this on Checkout Champ and do this like
Really?
MRR stuff? And I'm like, nah, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, I always
Yeah.
throw shade on them on Twitter, and then they all come at me and start attacking me, saying like, "Oh, you just don't want to make money." And I was like, "You can make money ethically. You don't have to make money
Yeah,
unethically."
that's fucked.
So
That's gonna
yeah,
bite you in the ass one day or
yeah.
another.
But just
But
so
yeah,
anybody
no,
knows, anybody
they'll
watching this, I don't do any of that stuff. So like, and if you're thinking that we're doing any of that stuff, none of that stuff. All just
no.
very clean upsells, giving people offers that they want, writing them in a way that actually gets them to convert, and then just testing different offers, pricing angles to find ones that work, so you can keep pumping the RPV. That's very,
When you're
very basic.
providing true value to the customer, you don't really need to do that. So
Yeah, 100%, hundred
simple as
percent.
that.
Well, I guess last question, last two questions. A, would you say this was worth the investment in the sense of like ROI wise? Because obviously you know our payment structure and how it works. And then second is also if somebody's on the fence watching this, what would you tell them to get them to just take the next step? Because you were very hesitant initially. So what would you tell them now that you've done it?
Yeah. So payment structure wise, again, this is just me being very honest, and I've never told you this, but I think you have
Yeah.
one of the most uh, logical and fair payment structures that I've seen. Usually, a lot of people, a lot of agencies want to get paid off of spend, and that's supposed
Revenue. Yeah.
yeah, to track revenue. And I don't
Yeah.
do that usually because, dude, it's not in my benefit to do that. But with
Yeah.
you, it's a very,
Profit.
very logical. Yeah, exactly. So very logical. You make money. We make money, everybody's happy.
And you always make more than
when I
us.
reached out and you told me this, exactly. And when you reached out and told me this, my hesitation only came from working with agencies and
Yeah,
whether you're good or not because of my past experiences with agencies. The price, honestly, the pricing and the structure, the offer is what pushed me to give this a try because I was like, you know what? It's a win-win. It's a win-win, right?
yeah,
We're not gonna really lose anything trying this out. Worst comes to worst, we just stop. There's really no weird contracts and hidden stuff that I have to worry
yeah.
about and any aggressive. It was like, yo, you try this, you make money, great. You don't, whatever,
And it
right?
doesn't even affect your
So
front end. So it's not even going to affect what you're
so
doing.
it was just
It's
like
not going to ruin what's happening on the front end if it doesn't work.
exactly, it was a win-win. So it made
Yeah,
made sense. Again, my hesitation came from my past with agencies, not from. Again, the offer was what really got me to hop on. And dude,
yeah.
after like the first month or two, I added all my other brands. I'm adding what, three more brands to you right now as we speak that are getting launched and starting to take off. So,
It's funny, your newer
it's
brand that you launched did better on post purchase than the old one, which is hilarious.
yeah,
that one
it
is that
depends
one's
on the
doing way
product.
bigger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. It's a
No.
product that's prime for that. So
Yeah. Well, thank you very much again for hopping on. Really appreciate it, bro. It was a
yeah, my
pleasure,
pleasure,
and
man. My
all the
pleasure.
kind
I don't
words
really
are
do
definitely
these
appreciated.
often. I honestly don't do these often. I get asked all the time. I only do
Yeah.
it when it's worth it. Uh, because
It's the
it
Lebanese
truly.
homies. There's the Lebanese
Yes,
homies too,
exactly.
you know?
Exactly. Yeah, that too. That's
Yeah.
something to do with it for sure. But yeah,
Yeah.
man,
Got
I'm
me.
I'm happy to it's well deserved, so.
Yeah. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Thanks.